Jadov is back at it, here to give everyone another Breaking Bad Season 3 episode reaction video. But before I continue with that, pretty important if you aren't caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not sure, then you should probably take the initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which of course I'll put in the description, as well as say it for you. And if that happens to be the case and you are not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you do not watch this video any further, simply to avoid any potential spoilers. This is going to be Breaking Bad Season 3, Episode number 10. Title of this episode is called Fly. This is going to be my reaction, review, recap after just watching the episode. And I know a lot of people don't like this episode. We'll see what I have to say. So Walt is now suffering from some insomnia as he stares up at a smoke detector's flashing light while trying to get back to sleep. Now later, he arrives with Jesse at the lab where they begin making another batch of their famous blue meth. At the end of the day, Walt is calculating their yield. While above what they are required to produce, it falls short of what he expects. Jesse, who has been secretly taking small amounts for personal distribution, suggests it may be from other losses such as spillage, but Walt insists there is another reason. Now, after Jesse leaves for the day, Walt sees a housefly in the lab, which he fears could contaminate the meth-making process. He tries numerous means to swat at it, even dangling precariously from the lab's catwalk, which I would not do, from which he slips and falls to the floor. When Jesse returns the next day, he finds Walt still in pain from the fall and demanding that they cannot start cooking until they get rid of the fly and get rid of the contamination. He makes a big deal out of a stupid fly. Jesse worries about Walt's lack of sleep and suggests they go outside to figure it out. However, when Jesse leaves, Walt locks him out of the lab and goes back to find the fly. Jesse then disconnects the main power to the lab. Walt lets him back in so they can work together. And then Jesse actually gets some fly paper, which they hang around the lab, as well as some sleeping pills that he secretly puts in Walt's coffee. And he then recounts a story about his late aunt who experienced auditory hallucinations as a result of her cancer spreading to her brain, which Walt asserts that he is still in remission. He just went to see his doctor. Now, as they wait to catch the fly, the two talk about their families. Walt expresses that he should have died already and tries to think of the perfect moment to have done so. After he had enough money, after Holly was born, before his surgery, and before Skyler knew about what he had been doing. He finally decides the perfect moment to die would have been the night Jane died. Telling Jesse that, I don't think I told you this before, but the night I came over to drop your money off, after that I went to a bar and had a drink with a gentleman. We just started talking. Well, that guy turned out to be Donald Margolis, Jane's dad, and he was essentially going to give up on Jesse after that, it seemed like. And he had told Donald Margolis, essentially that was his son. And obviously, if we remember correctly, Donald Margolis said, no, never give up on family. Always give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's why Walt went back there and then saw Jesse sleeping, on heroin with Jane. And that's when Jane started choking and or throwing up and choked on her own puke. So, he tries to calculate the chances of meeting both father and daughter in different scenarios on the same night, despite never ever met either beforehand, but finds the odds too astronomical to even calculate. And then Jesse is distracted when he sees the fly near the ceiling. As he tries to use a stepladder to reach the fly, an increasingly sleepy Walt seems poised to confess to Jesse about his role in Jane's death. Jesse tells him Jane's death was nobody's fault, but he still misses her. And then Jesse climbs back down and he actually slees the fly on the ladder and gets it with, I think it was a newspaper in his back pocket, something that was rolled up. I don't recall exactly what it was. And the fly is dead. And then Jesse takes a sleeping Walt, who had passed out finally, to a couch, or to the couch, while he cleans up the lab and prepares for their next batch. And then they later leave together, but Walt warns Jesse that if he has been skimming from their product, he will not be able to protect him from Gus if Gus does happen to find out. Jesse denies taking anything and states that he isn't asking anybody to protect him. That night, Walt is awakened by buzzing and sees a fly landing on the smoke detector's flashing light, and that is how the episode ends. I don't necessarily hate this episode. When I first watched it, I thought it was ridiculous, but I think it's a really good episode as far as like the dynamic between Walt and Jesse. And Walt almost said too much to Jesse here. What if he would have said, "I watched Jane die"? Which, spoiler alert, he does eventually in season 5, episode 14, Ozymandias. But it would have been crazy if he would have done it here. So I don't mind it. I mean, it's not the best episode of Breaking Bad, and I don't necessarily know if it's the worst. I'm doing my rewatch now. If I find something worse than that, I definitely would let you guys know. But I think the score of the episode, I'm going to give it a solid 7.8 out of 10. Well, I guess that's not solid, but it's not like a 4 or 3 or anything like that. I liked what I saw. Obviously, we only saw Walt and Jesse in this episode. Walt is going to be the character of the episode. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, which I know you are, everybody that's watched Breaking Bad all the way through, or if you watched at least one full season of Breaking Bad, you've got to like this show. And that means you have to smash that like button. Come on, let's get double-digit likes on every Breaking Bad video. It doesn't take much to do double-digit likes. And then we'll go for triple digits after that. And if you know anybody that would be interested in listening or watching to these, go ahead and share the video with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment. You can talk about pretty much anything you want Breaking Bad related. This episode, the score of the episode, if you think this is the worst episode in Breaking Bad history, if you want to talk about your favorite episodes besides this, if this is a favorite episode of yours, or favorite characters, leave all that stuff in the comment section. I'll read them all and respond to all. And last, but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join your team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, as J-Dev will return.